Hello, everyone. Bleeding Book Podcast, episode number 57. And today we have a very special guest with me here. I don't know where he's going to be situated on the screen, but I have my dad, Dan McCabe, showing up for some Bills talk today.
Hello.
Hello, Dan.
Hello. Hello, Ryan,
Yes.
son Ryan, and hello, friend Ryan.
Hello.
How are you?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much. I'm very excited to be here today. I gotta say.
Awesome. So we are going to talk Bills stuff because my dad is a very big Bills fan like myself. Just preparing for the season. A week from today, we will be watching football once again. So we're just going to have some questions about the upcoming season and primarily the Bills, how they're going to do and how it's going to look under this new team. And lots of changes have been done in the offseason. So we just wanted to get right into it. So my first question to both of you is, how do you think the AFC East is going to be situated this year with the Bills, Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots? Will the Bills five-peat as division champs, or do you think there's going to be a new division winner this year? Dad, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Jets are going to win the division. And my main reason for this, should I get into this right now or save this for later?
Yeah, go right into it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got a long shot bet for who the league MVP is going to be this year.
Okay.
Brees Hall. That's my bet. Why? Well, I think that this year he rushes for over 1,500 yards, and I think he catches for another 500. Going over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. I think he scores anywhere from 12 to 15 TDs this year. He propels the Jets to the AFC East, first time in over 20 years. And then in the first playoff game, he pulls a Thurman Thomas. He loses his helmet or his shoe or something at the beginning of the game, and as a result, he's completely rattled. And he bottoms out, and then they'll end up getting destroyed by the Bills in the first.
That sounds wonderful.
That
sounds wonderful.
So I've answered a few little questions there all at once, but I think that the Jets land up winning the division. I think the Bills make the playoffs, but I think the Jets wrestle it away from.
So ultimately, you think Aaron Rodgers is gonna not get injured like he did last year in the first game? You think he's gonna stay healthy?
Yeah, I think that he'll be fine. I don't know if he'll get back to Superman form that he's been in the past, but I think he's had enough time to recover, and I think he'll have a good season. I think one of the big reasons why is, as I said, Brees Hall. That's my long shot.
That's an interesting take. Brees Hall is fantastic. He is a great player, but he's had some injuries in the past at the beginning of his career, but he is fantastic. Ryan, what are your thoughts? Do you think the Bills are going to win the division again or what?
I think with the quality of, I guess, the players and teams in the AFC East, I look at, the Patriots don't have to worry about them. I don't think that is an issue for our team whatsoever, as well as even the Dolphins. The Dolphins are against the Bills, as we know. Bills absolutely own the Dolphins, and you've said this before, right? I've heard you talk many times. The Bills own the Dolphins, and we saw that last year. Most of the games, I remember watching Frank the Tank, lots of his videos, getting super mad at his team, the Dolphins, and then the Jets. Yeah. Jets is the as Dan was saying, it's if our buddy Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, but. And then who was the other player you mentioned? Sorry, Sean Greenwood.
Brees Hall.
Sorry, yeah.
Brees Hall.
Anyway, and so he's if those players are able to be, as you said, the players are meant to be, then it's going to be a tough division for sure. But looking at Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to play games. He's going to play more than in this season. But
Right.
ultimately, how old is he? What, 44, 43, something like that?
Yeah, he's getting up there.
So I think we've just seen it enough where he's not his old self. He's gonna fall down. Somebody's gonna tackle him, and then he's gonna be out for 4 games. The body is just not the way it was in
Yeah.
previous seasons, obviously. So that, and then also I think Josh Allen he's gonna be able to carry this team like he has for many years in the prior. So I think I'll go with the Bills winning the division. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's perfect. That's a perfect segue to my next question. Do you guys both think Josh is ready to do it all by himself? Because obviously Stephon Diggs is not in this offense anymore, and there's no real concrete number one wide receiver. Obviously, Gabe Davis is gone also, who scored many touchdowns for the Bills. Actually, I have a quick fact here. Apparently, Gabe Davis has the most receiving touchdowns out of any player in postseason and regular season in the past 3 years. So 3 or 4 years. So that's pretty crazy. So that's a big chunk of points that the Bills are missing this year. So do you guys both think Josh is capable enough to have, I wouldn't say mid-tier wide receivers, but I'm just saying other players that aren't considered to be the best, one of the top 15, top 20 in their position, you know, compete at a high level, like you said, would win the division. Ryan, we'll just continue with you because you just started talking about it.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research yesterday in preparation for this, looking at players that can help Josh Allen out in this. And the one that I saw a bunch was James Cook. That was the one
Mm-hmm.
big player that
Mm-hmm.
to, I guess, step it up in the absence of Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. Because even last year, like Stephon Diggs didn't have he's always going to be a valuable player and he's going to be great with the Texans, but I think in his absence still it's going to be a lot. So I think James Cook will be a big part, and if he steps it up, also the defense as well. Obviously, last year we know that the offense was the main drive of the Bills. And so I think the defense has to be a bigger aspect this season, in my opinion. I think so, but I think it can happen. I think we've
Mm-hmm.
seen it before. Many teams with horrible, just like it's the QB that's carrying a team.
Right. Dad, what do you think? What are
I
your thoughts?
couldn't agree more. Other than Josh Allen, who we could talk about him forever, but I mean he's the thing that makes that team go or fall apart. But beyond him, yeah, I think James Cook too. Went to the Pro Bowl last year, which I totally forgot about. Runs well, he can catch. I predict the workload increases this year because of
Mm-hmm.
the less seasoned receivers in the roster. The Bills haven't had a good back since McCoy, and that's
Yeah,
what, 10 years ago, something like that, 9 years ago.
a little
Um,
less, but yeah, you
yeah.
understandable.
So I think he scores, I don't know, 8, 10 touchdowns this year.
Yeah,
Maybe he goes over 1,000 yards again. Maybe picks up, I don't know, 400, 500 yards receiving too. So there's your pro tip for the day. Pick him in the pool. Pick him in your
yeah,
fantasy. Yeah.
yeah. He's been rated very low uh in fantasy picks,
Yes.
honestly,
Yeah.
because it's his third year, and his second year it was kind of an outbreak of offense, because the first year he was
Mhm.
kind of quiet. But I think this year he's definitely going to get much more than he did last year and the year prior. Like, he's going to get a lot of workload, like you mentioned, with this new
Yeah.
offense look. Um, I'm just gonna say a quick question. This is just a yes or no question, but guys like Von Miller and Micah Hyde, older guys on this defense, are do you guys think that they're gonna perform? Like, obviously Von Miller has had a very rough time since his contract, because we know that contract is not good at all. But do you think those guys like Micah Hyde, who have been injured in the past very consistently, and do you think they're just gonna slump and not help this team out and not be a leader, or do you think they're gonna actually put some work in and maybe help this defense out, because it doesn't look like the defense that they've had in past years. Dad, what do you
Well,
think?
I think that they'll probably do that sort of veteran 1 foot out the door type role, especially Von Miller. He's had a bit of issues off the field last year,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
So he's I don't know if all that's been cleared up or not, but yeah, I think that they'll be able to show the new people the way, kind of thing. I mean, the Bills have this sort of rotating personnel defense style anyways, where they, I don't know how that relates to other teams in terms of bringing players in for different downs and whatnot, but they do a fair bit of that. So, Von Miller comes in third and fourth down, or third down situations a lot. Hyde, I don't know if he's if he's there for the nickel or if he's there all
Right.
the time, but I think they'll play, and I think they'll help out the new personnel. Whether
Okay.
they're going to be the stars or not, I don't think so. I don't think
Okay. Ryan, what are your thoughts?
Same sort of thing with Dan. It's like it's yes and no. Like honestly, like I think there's like I think that there are parts that they can be helpful to in the defensive side, but I again like it's so offensive oriented that we honestly forget about the defense a lot of. I mean, personally, I do. That's the thing for me. I tend to forget about the defensive side of the game. So as long as it's able to make sure that they're scoring enough runs and preventing enough touchdowns and touchdowns that's the most important thing, honestly, in my opinion. Just let Josh Allen eat, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you say that it's only circled around the offense, because before Josh Allen, it was only the defense that was this star point of the team. Because
that's
I
all they
remember,
had.
I remember in 2017 when
Yep.
they made the playoffs, went 9-7. They barely got in because they had to make the Ravens lose in order to get
Yep.
the
Against
sixth seed,
the
and
Bengals.
just yeah, and I'm just like, I remember watching that team, and like it was just the defense that was good. And we had McCoy at running back, but that was about it. Like we had
Yep.
Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, and
Old
just a
Tyrod.
bunch of nobody, but just a bunch of nobody wide receivers. And I think we lost like 9-3 in the playoffs. It was like it was a horrible game, but it was, it's funny because Josh Allen's obviously the focal point of this team, and the offense is definitely the main focus. So it's funny that you say that. But let's get into some predictions now. So the first one I'd like to list off here is the Bills MVP. Obviously, Josh Allen is a no-brainer for that, so we're just going to kind of take him out of it. So we're going to pick another player. I'm going to start off first because you guys have been yapping. So first pick, I'm going to go. My pick is probably going to be Keon Coleman. I think the highest round draft pick for this team at wide receiver, I think he is fantastic. I think the Bills played it smart, honestly. I remember draft night, I was very pissed off that they kept trading down for players and they didn't get the receiver that they wanted. But now that I look at it, I see what Brandon, being the GM, was looking at with Keon Coleman. That guy's a freak of nature. I don't know if you fellas have seen any college highlights from him, but he has some acrobatic catches and he can get up there and catch the ball, which is someone the Bills need. And Keon, great personality too. He has some great videos with the Bills and stuff. And, I think that's great for the team. And honestly, it works with Buffalo also because they love great personalities over there. So I think he's going to have a big year, definitely over 1,000 yards. Just the fact is there's not that many, much people catching the ball. So I think Keon Coleman's going to step up in a big way this year. Maybe even a top 3 offensive rookie of the year pick this year, but we'll get into that another time. But what do you fellas think about the Bills MVP? We'll start off with Ryan here.
So as I mentioned before, that was going to be a big part of this Bills offense and how the final season, how it comes to an end, will be determined by none other than I think James Cook, and I think he's going to have a great season. Still very, very young. He's coming into his third season right now. Went to the Pro Bowl, as we said before. I think his ceiling can only just get higher from here. And I think with the absence of Diggs and Gabe Davis, this is where his time has come to shine. So that's got to be my pick for the team MVP. And he has a lot of pressure on him right now. He definitely,
Right.
I think he just seems like the type of guy that can handle that pressure. There's a lot of guys on this team that can, I think, and especially Josh Allen. We could go on about him, how great he is, how he's honestly only good in pressure situations sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I mentioned Cook as well. I can't see anybody else really stepping up, and he's been there. He was there last year, did really well. There's no reason why he can't continue on and be a big part of their offense. So hopefully that pans out for them, because God knows they need the help this year. So there you go.
Yeah, that's right. This year, this is an interesting year for the Super Bowl. I think a lot of teams could have a good fighting chance. But what are your Super Bowl matchups early predictions? Obviously, there's no games been played, but let's go with Dad here. What do you think? Super Bowl matchup, and who's your winner out of the matchup?
Well, I'm going with shot in the dark here. Kansas City and San Fran. Oh, right. That was last year, but I can't see anything early on here
Yeah.
that says anything different. That sorcerer Mahomes he's still running things over there in Kansas City, and he seems to be able to win regardless of who he plays with. You take away some of his toys, and he finds new ways to play the game. The defense is still very good. Good linebackers, good pass rush. On the flip side there, San Francisco, McCaffrey's still the sweetest guy in a pair of shoes out there. He's the best runner receiver in the league. Their defense is just as strong as last year. Lots and lots of points, either from the defense or as a direct result of their takeaways. So why not them? But just as a little side note here, Baltimore, they're really, really scary looking this year. At least me personally, I think that Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, that's terrifying. Those two guys together. Their defense has been solid since I remember Baltimore having a team. They're a behemoth, so why not them? But it's going to be an AFC. The AFC is going to win it again, I think. So Kansas City or Baltimore. That's my prediction.
Okay. Ryan, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Similar to Dan's picks right there. I went Chiefs and Lions as final as Super Bowl matchup. I think again, unless some injury, something crazy happens to Mahomes in the Super Bowl, we just saw with last year's, like, the perfect example of everyone thought they were the underdog for some reason. I don't know why it was like that, but they ended up showing why Patrick Mahomes is the man, and ended up winning the Super Bowl. And so I would say the Lions, I think last year it was Lions and for the 49ers in the championship, right? And so I think the Lions will take that little extra step and get to they're again underdog story, always fun to see. So I'd like to see that for sure, and I'd like to see them wipe the floor with the Chiefs, but I think Chiefs still come out. It's too bad.
Yeah, I have the same exact one as you. Chiefs over the Lions. Like I hate the guy so much, Mahomes, but it's like kind of like Brady in a sense, where you just have to admire the guy and how good he is. The Lions, I think they are fantastic. They're definitely on the verge of getting that first Super Bowl appearance. The offense is fantastic. The defense is almost, if not better than their offense. But the Chiefs, I think, they're just too good. They continue to amaze, even though Mahomes does not have the best weapons. He obviously has his buddy Travis Kelce, but other than that, there's not really much he has to work with, kind of like what Josh Allen has. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Chiefs play out this year. But yeah, the Chiefs are just too good, man. I think they're going to win another one and three-peat, the first time an NFL team has ever done it, which is pretty great. Which would be pretty crazy to see. So let's move on to our predictions for Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going to start off real quick and go with a kind of an underdog pick here. I think this award is mainly, for the big dogs. Like maybe even a quarterback might win this, but I have Amon-Ra St. Brown winning it this year. I think that kind of relating back to how the Lions are going to get to the Super Bowl, but Amon-Ra is a very talented wide receiver with the Lions, playing with Jared Goff, and Jared Goff is he's not the most flashy quarterback. Doesn't get talked about as much, but he does the job. And he wins those big games, right? And he's been to Super Bowl before with the Rams in the past. And St. Brown is just as talented as anyone else at the wide receiver position, and I think he's going to have a massive year this year. I think at least 1,500 yards through the air. I think he's fantastic. So I'm going to go with him as a little underdog pick this year for the Offensive Player of the Year. Dan, what do you think? Who's your pick?
Why not Mahomes? Again, he's won it twice before. What he's capable of doing week in, week out, it makes me angry. I know it makes you angry. I've had to replace numerous pieces of furniture in my basement, courtesy of some of the fits that have been thrown down there during the playoffs and whatnot. This guy hasn't recorded a season of less than 4,000 yards passing since his rookie year. He's been good for 35 touchdowns plus in 4 of his 7 seasons. And last year was an off year for him, and he lands up winning the Super Bowl anyways. And he lands up with only 10th place in MVP votes. That makes no sense to me at all, why that happened. But anyways, but why not Allen? This is a great opportunity for him to step up and have a big time hero ball season. He's got depleted core of targets. That's already been mentioned a few times by Ryan, and he's right. Maybe he's got to be even more inventive this year. Opportunities for the new guys to step up and catch a lot of balls. He runs a lot more. He steps up the creativity and recklessness. Maybe it's 1,000 yards rushing. Maybe it's 3,500 passing, 40 combined touchdowns. He finally shows them all, and he wins the MVP. He's come close a couple of times. Maybe this is the year.
Yeah, could very well be. Could very well be. Ryan, what are your thoughts? Who's your Offensive Player of the Year?
Well, this guy kind of had a down year last season, and I think everyone was expecting a lot more, maybe even a Super Bowl push, but this team just completely fell apart. And part of the reason was his injury. So I'm going to have to go with the rebound year, Joe Burrow coming back, best offensive player this year. So I think, last season was a lost season for the Bengals and Joe Burrow. He's dealing with that, what was it, calf injury, I think it was, something like that, or leg injury he had.
I think so.
I think he has had multiple great seasons. We saw in 2022 how he is the man, absolutely. I know you guys were at that game in the, what was it, the AFC?
Depressing.
Yeah.
No, it was the divisional game, but it was not a fun game.
Yeah, saw how he absolutely showed up that game. Joe Burrow was awesome that game, and I think he's one of those guys that can show up in the playoffs too. That's another thing, is he's beaten Mahomes, which Josh Allen has yet to do in the playoffs. So I think I don't know. I just see Joe Burrow. He's got a lot of swag. He dyed the hair, he bleached the hair, and shaved it off. So maybe there's something coming. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be an interesting pick to see how that plays out, because I think we're not predicting this, but I think he's definitely the front runner for comeback player of the year, right beside Aaron Rodgers, because Joe Burrow's, like, after his torn ACL in his rookie year, he came back the next year and just destroyed everyone. So I could definitely see that happening once again. Here you have defensive player of the year. This one is kind of an open one compared to offensive player of the year, but I'm going to go real quick here. And I'm going to pick TJ Watt from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He should have won it last year over Myles Garrett, in my opinion. He carried that Pittsburgh defense to the playoff berth. Obviously, he didn't play in the playoffs because he was injured, but TJ Watt is definitely the best athlete on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think there is even a debate. He is just like his brother JJ. He is fantastic. And I think he's going to be right there for most sacks all time in a season. Obviously, that extra game is going to be a big help. And that's how most guys have been breaking records because that extra game that's been added to the schedule. But TJ is a fantastic player, and I wish he was on the Bills. He would be a perfect fit because we have no edge rushers on this team. But TJ Watt, I think he wins another one this year. I think he already has one in his career. I think he gets another one this year for sure.
All right.
Dad, what do you think?
Well, it's a mystery to me, and I blame fantasy football for this. Defense it's all a jumble for me. So much focus last year on defense, special teams, bunch of faceless, nameless monsters.
Yeah.
I was only really cared in points against. So,
Right.
but based on that kind of thinking, maybe it's someone from one of those better teams. So maybe someone from the Jets. I don't know. Sauce Gardner probably got the best name in football right now. Or maybe Mosley. Maybe
Yeah.
someone from the Ravens like Kyle Hamilton. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Put all the names in a hat and pull
Yeah.
one out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah,
but that's what I
Kyle
guess.
Hamilton is a great pick. He was a rookie last year, and he was like one of the best cornerbacks in the game, and that could be a great pick. He might get the most interceptions this year. That's a great little sleeper pick for defensive player of the year. Ryan, what are your thoughts? Who are you picking?
I had, again, as you mentioned, to one last year, Myles Garrett. That's got to be my pick for the best defensive player. Probably one of the best defensive ends playing right now for the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns, they made it to the playoffs last year, right? They lost in the first.
They had a great season with Joe Flacco at the end of the way.
And I think he'll help them out a little bit more. So I again, my knowledge on defensive players is lacking right now. Hopefully, it will become more.
That's all right.
More knowledge. All right. Myles Garrett, I think, is
Why not? Why not?
Sure. No, yeah, you're honestly, it's every year. It's usually the same like 5 or 6 guys that are in the same conversation, like Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Nick Bosa.
Yeah, one of the Bosas.
Bosa brothers. They're great players. So it's honestly the same people every year. Like there's usually a cornerback who has a lot of interceptions. That's usually up there. Like last year, it was I can't remember the guy on the Cowboys, but he had a lot of interceptions and he was kind of up there too. But he's just not like, I feel like this is kind of a side thing, but I feel like players with the most interceptions, like defensive backs, they're not the best cornerbacks in the league, in my opinion.
No,
they just because those interceptions, they're very lucky. And that's the same thing with Stephon Diggs' brother, actually, Trayvon Diggs. He had the most interceptions a couple years ago, and then the year after, he just gets burnt so much in like deep coverage, and like he's not that good of a cornerback. Like the stat padding for interceptions is so like crazy. But let's move on to MVP, the big award this year. You know what? Let's start off with you, Dad. Who's your MVP this year?
I mentioned this earlier. I know
you can explain it in depth more.
Pretty crazy. No, just to recap, I think that he's going to have a breakout year. I think it'll be craziness in New Jersey there on a regular basis in the Meadowlands. I just think he's going to run all over the place. I saw a couple of games of him last year. That one against, I think it was the Bills. And it was a jaw dropper, like to see this guy just run roughshod and it was maybe 6-7 plays. And I think he had 90, 100 yards and there was no time. So if he can do that on a consistent basis and he gets some, support with some, or rather get some passes thrown to him as well, because he can catch the ball. So sure, why not? That's my outside off the wall.
That would be the first MVP other than a quarterback since Adrian Peterson, 2012. It's pretty crazy that the past 12 years have been only quarterbacks. It's basically just the best QB award. It's not even really the most valuable player.
That's kind of
you
what
know,
the league is like, though, right? I mean, they've been pass happy for a long time now. They're bigger plays, they're more exciting. It's better for TV.
mhm,
People love it. You mentioned cover corners are, they get all the hype on the defense. They're not the best football
mhm,
players on the defense. It's the safeties, it's the linebackers. Those are the guys who
mhm,
do the grunt work, and the interior linemen. Those are the guys that are the real football players, but they're not flashy, so they don't get
right,
the
yeah,
TV time, I guess, or the award time. But
yeah.
what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go real quick here and go on a limb here. I'm gonna go with C.J. Stroud for the
Yeah.
MVP this year, his second year in the league, and I think the Texans have a tough schedule this year as they won the division, and they have some tough opponents. But I don't know. I think the Texans are gonna shut down because that shut down those naysayers because that offense is fantastic. They just picked up Diggs obviously from the Bills.
Yep.
Um, who's going to help out a lot with the young guys like Nico Collins and Tank Dell. And people haven't been talking about this much, but Joe Mixon is on the Texans now at running
Yes,
back,
they did.
which is a very good pickup.
Got him on my team.
I'm surprised they pulled that off. Uh, I'm
Yep.
surprised the Texans pulled that off with those two great pickups in the offseason. And obviously their defense is fantastic too. Who I forget the guy's name, but he won defensive rookie of the year last year at defensive line, but he's fantastic also. But I think Stroud's gonna go for a massive amount of passing yards this year. I think at least 4,000, obviously, if he's going to win MVP. At least 35, 40 touchdowns if he's got to win it. But I think he's fantastic, and he has the weapons to do it. So might as well pick him. Ryan, what are your thoughts? Who
Okay.
you got MVP?
So as I said with the offensive player again, I think it's a bit of it's a long shot, but I think Joe Burrow can come back and
Wow.
win the MVP. I think because I want to say Josh Allen, but then I feel like I'm a delusional Bills fan,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
There's a lot of us. It's okay.
I get slapped
Yeah.
by Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift. So I don't feel like I should
Yeah.
pick. But the back of my head, I do think that Joe Burrow has just as good as chance as any other player. He's one of the best quarterbacks of this generation right now. He plays with like intense just he's an intense player, and I think he has a chance to win it just as much as anybody else. So that's got to be my pick.
This
It's
is a
so
bit
too because it's very early. It's very
right.
very hard to tell. You can kind of have an idea, but I think Joe Burrow
That's gonna be it's gonna be a big comeback year for Joe Burrow because that means a
won
guaranteed
before,
3 awards.
won
Yeah,
the comeback player award already. So why not
yeah.
do it?
I think he's gonna get some nice hardware if that gets pulled off. But
Yeah.
here we go. We're gonna run through a little schedule gauntlet here.
All right.
I'm gonna go quickly here and get mine done. So as we see here, the schedule for the Bills. So first week they play the Cardinals. I think the Bills destroy them. I think it's a blowout. Josh Allen, big game, start off the season.
Agreed.
Bills away against the Dolphins on prime time. Bills win that. Bills, like Ryan has said in the past, they own the Dolphins, so that's an easy win. Bills against the Jaguars Monday night. That's another win.
Sweet revenge.
Yeah.
For last year. Sweet
Yes,
revenge.
that was a bad game in London last year.
Terrible venue. Terrible venue.
Yeah, and then the next week against the Ravens, that's the first loss. Sunday night against the Ravens, that's going to be a tough matchup. Another loss against the Texans. That means 3-2. That's going to be another bad game. Diggs revenge game. He's going to go off. Bills against the Jets Monday night again. I think the Bills win that. Another sweet revenge game after that disastrous week 1 game. I think Josh Allen's gonna have a bounce back after that week 1 performance last year. Bills against the Titans, that's another win. Bills against the Seahawks, I think that's another win. Seahawks are underrated team this year. I think people are doubting them, but I think the Bills are just going to come in and wipe the floor. Bills Dolphins at home. The Bills win again because it's the Dolphins and they stink. Bills against the Colts, that's another win. That's another win for the Bills. They're kind of on a hot streak right now. Usually in the middle of the year they have a bad little stretch, but I would say the Bills beat the Colts. Chiefs Bills. I think the Bills win that. It's kind of a tough game, but I think the Bills always beat the Chiefs in regular season. So I think they'll do that. I think they'll win. I think they'll win that game very close, like a field goal to win the game type game. And then they have the bye week, and then they play the Niners. That's going to be a loss. Sunday night against the Niners, that's a loss for the Bills. Then the Bills kind of go on a little losing streak here. I think they lose to the Rams and the Lions three straight games. I think this is going to be a tough stretch heading because this is going to get where the teams get close, where the Dolphins are going to creep up in the standings. Same with the Jets, like how it always does at the end of the year. And then the Bills win the last three games: Patriots twice, and then the Jets again at home. So as I see here, I think the Bills are going to go 11-6 or 12-5. I can't remember my counting is just 11-6. Yeah, I think that's respectable. I think Josh Allen is going to have a big year. He's going to be top 3 in MVP voting, but obviously the NFL execs hate him because they just named him actually yesterday the most overrated player in the NFL. So overrated quarterback, I think, in the NFL. So everyone hates him. So they're not going to pick him for MVP this year, like always. So, but yeah, 11-6, I think is like the max. I think that's like the highest they can go this year. But yeah, let's go with our special guest here, Dan. Let's go with your prediction. I'm just going to lay out the games and then you pick. So Cardinals Bills. First game of the season.
Well, first things first. You are your father's son because my predictions are very much similar to yours. There's a couple of differences here. Yeah, the Bills beat the Cards. A fine start.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to keep firing me the games?
Okay, Bills Dolphins.
Bills win, but Hill has a fantastic game. He puts up almost 200 yards.
Okay. And then we have the Jags at home Monday night.
Sweet revenge, they win.
Okay, so that's 3-0 for the Bills at the start of the season, and then they play the Ravens.
And they play the Ravens. Yeah, they get destroyed by the Lamar Henry show.
Yeah, that's not going to be a fun game to watch. Bills Texans.
I think they lose here too. I think that Nixon runs all over that Swiss cheese defense that you're going to see.
Yeah.
Just like the week before, when the Ravens exposed the fact that they've got nobody to stop the run. So that's my guess.
Yeah. Bills Jets Monday night. Away.
Bills win just barely, maybe by a field goal.
Okay. Then we have the Titans at home.
This big trap game. They lose this one.
Really?
Yeah. They lose.
Honestly, you could be right on that one because the Bills always have one of those games every year.
There's another trap game coming up later on the season. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Bills Seahawks.
They beat them, but just barely.
Okay. Yeah. And then we have here Bills Dolphins at home.
I think they split the series. I think they lose this game.
At home, you think the Dolphins are going to beat them?
I think they lose.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Bills Colts.
The Bills run all over them. They destroy them.
Okay. That's I like that prediction because they're going to lose that Dolphins game and then they're going to come back and beat the Colts. Chiefs Bills.
This is where Josh out Mahomes. He plays a slippery Josh game, and they end up winning that game. I say Bills win.
Yeah. All right. Bye week, and then they play the Niners Sunday night.
They lose to the Niners.
Yeah. All right. And then we have Bills Rams.
This is trap game number 2. They lose this game as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's a trap game though.
I think
because the Rams are a very good team.
They're 5. They were 500 last year. I think they were 9.
No, they were 10. They were 10-7. They made the playoffs. No, they're a very good team. Bills. They don't have Aaron Donald anymore. But okay, Bills Lions.
They beat them by a field goal. It's a tough game, but they beat them by a field goal.
Okay. Patriots Bills.
Bills make the Patsies look stupid.
Yep.
They crush them.
Mm-hmm. Jets Bills. At home.
Bills lose this one. This is where Hall gets his passes 2,000 yards in the season. This is where he really.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. All right, and then last game, Bills Patriots
And
away.
it's Bills make the Patsies look stupid again. This is the
Yeah.
sequel, so they win.
All right,
both
so
of them.
you have them going 10-7, which is definitely
Yes.
respectable for what this team looks like.
They squeak into the playoffs. They squeak
So you
into the
say,
playoffs.
what are your predictions for seeding? Do you think they're obviously a wild card team because you have the Jets winning
They're,
the
yeah,
division,
they land up. I think they land up squeaking in. I don't know if they're the last team or second last. I think they land up playing the Jets in the first round. And they win.
Right.
And then I think they land up playing Baltimore in Maryland, and they
lose that game.
They get destroyed and see you in 2025.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's how it
All right. All right. So let me put that down. Lose in division round. Okay. All right. And then Ryan, here we go.
Right.
So let's see your predictions here. So Bills Cardinals game 1.
Bills Cardinals. I have the Bills winning. Cardinals aren't good.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Yeah, they're rebuilding. They're rebuilding.
Dolphins. Bills, I got the Bills with the W again.
Okay.
And same thing as you guys, 3 in a row. Bills, Jaguars. Bills get that W again.
Excellent. Yes.
Bills
Positive thoughts.
I have
energy.
the Bills losing that game. It's a lot.
That's a horrible game, dude. Yeah, Sunday night against Baltimore is a bad game.
Hot streak. We go into it head over heels. We're all happy, and then the absolutely just
yeah.
Next game, Texans Bills. I think the Bills lose that, and then that's when everyone starts panicking, and oh my gosh, this team is terrible. And then
that's a good point. The panic starts to set in. Yes, I can totally see that happening. Yes.
Sure. And the Jets and Bills, I think the Bills will win that game. I think that's W in my mind. Titans Bills, that's another win. Titans again, not a very
rebuilding once again. Yeah. They were once a very good team, and then they just shit the bed the past couple of years.
Same with the Seahawks, another team that's kind of in a rebuild. They're very mediocre. I think the Bills do the job and get the win over them. And then against the Dolphins, it was right. I think
at home.
I think they lose that.
Wow, you guys have the Dolphins beating the Bills in Buffalo. That is crazy.
So it goes.
That's wild.
Sometimes that happens.
All right. Okay.
Sometimes. What are you gonna do?
Okay.
Bills and Colts, another team. Colts were pretty good last year, weren't they?
They had a chance to win the division. They had a chance to win the division, but they lost to the Texans in the final game of the season. But they didn't make the playoffs. But they were 9-8. They're solid.
Okay, yeah. So
they're gonna get Anthony Richardson back, their rookie quarterback, who's very good. So they could be interesting this year.
Well, Anthony Richardson doesn't do a good enough job against the Bills, and the Bills winning.
Okay.
Chiefs Bills. This is going to be a horrible game, I know, and the Bills will lose. And then they have to face the Goliath, of a team. The Bills lose that game.
Okay.
Rams Bills. I think the Bills are going to win that game. I think that when we'll feel a little bit more comfortable, we'll be like, okay, it's the end of the season. We're not panicking too much, but it's still stressful. We don't know who's in the division right now.
Right.
And then Lions and Bills. Lions are great, so I think they'll lose in that game. And then so it's Pats, the Patriots, and the Bills. I think they win that game. That's pretty obvious in my opinion.
Right.
Jets Bills, they lose that game, and then final.
Okay.
Game, it doesn't mean anything because
it could be though. It could be because there could be a couple teams at 9-7, which you have them at right now.
Your dad has convinced me that Dan, you've convinced me that I think the Jets will take the division. I see it now. I don't know. It's
sure. Why not, man? It's the NFL.
It's too New York for them to it's just such a New York thing for them to win the division.
Right.
Patriotic. Aaron Rodgers comes out with the
flag, and then third snap his leg snaps in half.
But this time he plays the first game. He plays the game of his life. That's what's going to happen. It's going to restart, and then it's going to be the story of the century, and how came from nothing, and then they lose in the first game of the playoffs. So
you have the last game of the season against the Patriots. You think the Bills win that? Okay. So you guys both have them going 10-7. I obviously, as a delusional Bills fan, I have them, going 11-6 and winning the division. They're going to win the division again. There's no way they don't win that. The Jets, they choke under pressure. It's a New York team. What do you expect? And then the Dolphins, they've done it 2 years in a row. I don't think they'll do. I think they're going to do it again. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on the playoffs? So, how far do you think they'll go in the playoffs? The Bills.
I'll say this. I think that they go the exact same as they went last year. I think they win wild card and then they lose in the divisional series.
Okay.
Divisional round.
Yeah, what they always do.
Yep. I think they run out of gas. They just they play hard. They get to the playoffs. They win one, and then it's into the
because usually that's how it's been the past couple of years. Is that they struggle in the middle of the season, and then they win like 5 or 6 straight to get to win the division, exactly what it was last year. I think this is a great segment. Special guest, let's clap it up for Dan coming on. Great guest, one of the best guests we've had on here. Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun talking Bills, and hopefully more discussions in the future about this team. And next week football starts, which is a fun time in sports. So
oh boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure, and
all right. Well,
we'll see you later.
I really enjoyed this, fellas. And if you ever need somebody to fill in a spot to talk some more football, I'm available.
Yeah.
Take care,
all
fellas.
Right, Dan.
Ryan.
See you later.
Ryan.
Yep. I'll see you downstairs. Yep. Wow, that was fun. That was a good little segment for predicting the NFL season. But now let's get into some Jays.
Yes, let's talk a little bit of some Blue Jays. We don't have too much to talk about. We've only got the 2 games played back to back.
Yeah.
The last 2 games, and guess what? They ended up losing them. So, and they didn't score a run yesterday.
No.
Ryan Bale, 8 innings. The first game, though, I'd like to talk about, though, or the game that we didn't get to talk about was the game against the Red Sox, where Carlos Mendoza, who is the third base coach of our team, sent 2 runners, and guess what? They both got tagged out.
Picked off. Yeah.
So
not a good night for Carlos.
Yeah. We've still got things to be happy about. We know this is a lost season. 5 games below 500. The road to 500 is there. Again, there's not really much more to talk about. The one thing that I did like to see is in terms of our WAR, which is baseball reference WAR, because they're all calculated differently depending on which database you use. But in baseball reference, as you know, I'm always on that. Right now, Vladimir Guerrero, out of all the Blue Jays in the history of Blue Jays baseball, he has. I want you to guess. There's 20 players that they show on the franchise page. Out of all of them, what spot do you think he is on the all-time WAR leaders for
Vlad?
Yeah.
He's not far off from being up there. I'm gonna say 64.
Dude, he's the 18th most valuable
No,
player.
he isn't.
Yes, he is.
In terms of WAR, career, all time.
He has a higher WAR. He has a higher WAR than Josh Donaldson right now. Fred McGriff, Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens only played 2 seasons, but still absolutely insane. Alex Rios, Ernie Witt, Shannon Stewart.
Are you talking all time baseball or Jays?
Jays.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying all time. I was like, okay. I thought you were, pulling my leg for a second.
All time Blue Jays though, which still is very, very good for a guy that's only played Let's see. 1, 2. He's played 6 seasons as a Blue Jay.
Yeah, 18's pretty high.
Yeah, he's over 20.6 WAR. And each game that he plays, he gets more value added to his WAR. And so he's going to pass. I think by the end of the season, what do you think his total WAR is going to be at the end of the season? Right now he's at 5.3.
I don't know. I don't know exactly how WAR works. Like, I don't know. I know you can go into details about it, and I still won't know. But like, I don't know
honestly,
how high does it go. Like, I don't get the
so
the
once you
number.
enough players, then you realize like, oh my gosh, this player is freaking valuable as hell. So let's just take a look right now. So we I have it right here actually. There we go. Last year it was Shohei Ohtani with 6.7 or right now it is. He's leading the National League with 6.7, whereas Vladdy is a 5.3. Aaron
Okay.
is a 9.8. Or
Okay. I think he gets to 6.5. I don't know if that's light, low,
that is a very
that's
likely
respectable. Okay. All right. I'll do 6.5. What's he at now? 5.2, you said?
5.3.
5.3. All right, 6.5. Let's do it. I think that's respectable. I don't know how it works exactly, but I'm just gonna go out on a limb and just say that. But
And yeah, and the year before, Shohei Ohtani again won 9.9. Aaron Judge in 2022 had 10.5 WAR. Right now, Aaron Judge
wow.
7.8. So that's basically 10 wins above replacement. The best that player has ever had, I think, was Mookie Betts in 2018, where he had a 10.7 WAR. Pedro Martinez had an 11.7 WAR in 2000. In that year, here we're just fucking doing nothing right now, but it is pretty insane. He had a 1.74 ERA, 18-6 record, 217,
Mhm.
284 strikeouts. That is absolutely ridiculous. Roger Clemens had a 12.1 WAR with the Blue Jays, and then
Mm.
that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Another one that's pretty ridiculous. Wow, that is it's some of these Babe Ruth in 1923, 14.1.
All right. Well, that doesn't count. They weren't doing any stat counting in fucking
I know
1929.
they weren't, but that you can still do it because if you have their stats, it's easy to yeah. Anyway, it's very funny to look at and see.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway,
Not very interesting talks. Because like you said, there's two games between podcasts that we've been making this week. But they play the Red Sox today in a 5-game series. I feel like they've been playing the Red Sox for like the past 2 weeks. Do you think the Jays are going to tie the series or win the series? Because it's 2-2 right now. So
I
think
think
they're going to win this game or what?
right now, I think they win it. I have money on them to win it. I have money on Vladdy to hit a home run, Jaron
Little same game parlay.
yeah, to get a hit, and then Vladdy, and then the Blue Jays to win. And then if I
Okay.
get that's $5 turned into $45. So
It's not bad. It's a good payout. It's a good little payout. Yeah, I think the Jays win. I think the Jays win. They've struggled on offense the past 2 games. I think they're gonna hit a few bombs today.
they're facing. So the pitcher that is playing for the Jays tonight is Cutter Crawford, who's a 4.9.
Yeah, against no hitter but Bowden Francis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's
he's gonna have a nice game tonight. He's
yeah.
gonna have a nice game.
It's W. That's I want it to be. I don't want them to lose. I'd be really annoyed if they lost, but it's like because now that they're kind of okay and still fun to watch, they're a little bit fun to watch every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and they're the third. They have the third highest attendance in all of baseball, or in the American League, which is really sad.
They're the Fenway, like the Red Sox.
The Blue Jays do.
Oh, third highest attendance. Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to the Jays games. Like it's very. I'd be surprised. You know who I think would be the number one in like the league attendance is the Chicago Cubs. I think there's always so many people at those games, like afternoon games too.
It's not as much as you think. One, because their stadium isn't as big as other ones, because it's obviously so old.
Right.
I think the attendance. I think
In terms of like capacity, like in percentage, like the Cubs are obviously high. Like they got to be high. They have to be high.
Cubs, they're 6th out of 15 in the national.
That's bullshit. That's just off numbers. But if they had like percentage of filling the stadium, they'd be number one.
Maybe
No doubt. Every
best,
time I look at a Cubs highlight at home, it's always like 90% full,
the
even
best,
on like an afternoon game.
the best in the National League is 100% the Dodgers. And then second would be Phillies, and then maybe the Braves next, I'm gonna guess.
Oh, okay.
Or the Braves are fourth, and then maybe the Mets are 10th. Oh no, what? Mets were better.
Frank's got to be at the more of those games, dude.
Maybe the Cardinals.
Get the capacity.
Cardinals or the Padres. Yeah, Padres got to be number 3. Padres are always bumping. That's one of the best stadiums ever.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend that, even though it's
Fair
far.
enough.
It is one of the best stadiums.
Dude, the flights are not cheap to California, dude. They're like $600, and I don't have that money. So,
anyway, let's move on to things that do not make sense.
what about Remember the Game? Are we gonna do Remember the Game first?
Oh, fuck, I forgot.
Final day of Remember the Game.
All right. Let's.
I'm up by 1. If you get this game, dude, you could tie it up.
Okay,
I gotta get mine.
Let's do that and then end it off because I don't have anything that doesn't make sense in my life. That's just I need to.
Yeah. We might need to scrap this segment here. I think we found everything.
Covered everything that doesn't make sense. Everything makes sense to me because I'm a genius. So I'm Superboy genius, bro. So like I know everything.
All right, let's get into it. I have the game for you, so if you want to go first,
all right, yeah.
Let the pressure off you. Honestly, no. Okay, we'll go. I'll go first. So here you go. This is oh boy, sorry. Let me get the date. This is late. This is late in the season, 2022. I know that for a fact. September 14th. This is holy shit. This is game 4 or 5 of a series, kind of like with the Red Sox and the Jays right now. Jays are at home against the Rays, September 14th, 2022.
They won. Game 4?
Game 4, yep.
They won that. Let's see. I think.
Be careful what you say here, dude. This could cost you
They did win though, right?
Yes, they did. The Jays did win. Yes.
Let's see. Let me think of who pitched. You know what you're doing, but I remember this game. I watched this game. I know what happened. I remember this is the game where Alejandro Kirk, you look it up, Alejandro Kirk ran first to home on a Teoscar Hernandez double. Let me tell you that.
I'm just trying to look at
Teoscar Hernandez has a hit. You can take a look at that and see that.
Teoscar didn't even play.
What?
Yep, he did not play.
No, that's cap, bro.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm on MLB.com, dude. Fourth game of the series. He did not play. Kirk didn't even play either. You must be thinking of another game in that series. Yeah. Let me just double check for a second. I'm pretty sure it's the 4th game though. Let me see. September. Where is this? Sorry, my what the fuck is going on? My screen is yes. Okay, here. Yeah. 4th game.
All right,
4th game of the series.
Okay. Then
you gotta guess it, dude. Or
okay,
or
fine.
guess a couple more
fine.
stats or something.
Fine. So he didn't play then. Okay. Then
Oscar didn't play and Kirk didn't play.
Bo Bichette played.
Yes, he did. Yes.
He had a home run.
No.
No.
One player on the Jays did have a homer though.
2022.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I know that. He won. Was it George Springer?
No. Okay, you gotta guess the score, dude. You gotta guess the score.
Okay, I will. I have no idea. I'm trying to. Game 4.
Game 4 or 5. Yep. They played a back-to-back at the beginning, like a doubleheader, and then they played 3 games after. Exactly like the J series happening now.
All right, then.
Who? Okay, I'll give. Okay, who is pitching for the Jays? Who pitched for the Jays?
Wasn't Mitch White? It wasn't Alec Manoah.
No.
Is it Jose Barrios?
No. Ross Stripling.
Ross Stripling.
All right, you got to guess the score now. You got to guess the score.
Okay. This is in Toronto, you said.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna guess 5-2.
Oh my God, you almost got it. You almost got it. 5-1.
No, fuck.
You almost had it. You
We're
almost
so gonna
had
guess
it.
that, bro.
Oh my God, you almost had it. Wow. Wow. You know what? Should I give you one more just to make it interesting? You know what? I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more.
Give me another game. That's right now.
Okay, I got one right here.
Okay.
August 4th, 20.
If I get this, and if I also have to answer a bunch of other things too.
Yes, yeah, you have to get this one exactly right.
Know this game, okay? Yeah. All right. That's only
okay. Okay, here we go. June 19th, 2022. Jays Yankees. Jays are at home, 3rd game of the series.
Okay. June 19th.
June 19th. Yep.
Okay. Lourdes Gurriel, is it high scoring?
Yes. Yes, it
Lourdes
is.
Gurriel had a grand slam this game.
Let me just. Lourdes Gurriel. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Oscar hit a 3. I feel like he hit a 3-run home run or a 2-run home run.
Let me just check here. Oscar, you said. Yes, he did.
And then Vladdy had a home run in the first inning against Luis Severino.
Yep.
Josh Donaldson got hit by pitch by Yusei Kikuchi. Yusei Kikuchi was pitching. He did not do very well. I think he only went 4 innings. And then Josh Donaldson also hit a home run that game. Anthony Rizzo hit a home run that game. Gleyber Torres hit a home run that game.
Okay, so you said you said Torres, yep. Donaldson, yep. There was Rizzo, yep, and there's 2 other players from the Yankees. If you want to guess those, but yeah, you already got enough.
Home runs, okay. Marwin Gonzalez.
Yep. One more player.
IKF.
No.
No.
It's fine. That's fine. Don't say anything else. Hey, it was Higashioka or whatever the fuck. Higashioka. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then the final score, it's either 10.
Who pitched for the Jays? Who pitched for the Jays?
Who pitched?
Oh, Kikuchi. Sorry. Okay, who pitched for the Yankees?
It was Luis Severino.
Severino. That's right. You mentioned that. Okay. What's the score?
Peralta gave up the home run to Teoscar. This is a really good game. Okay, was it 10-9?
Yep. Good job. You locked in there. Locked in. All right, so it's tied now. I got to get this one.
Okay. All right.
So ready? What happens if I don't get it? What do we do? We just keep listing off games.
We'll do that in the next podcast.
Okay. All right. That's a good idea.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
You ready?
All right. I need to lock in here. Need to lock in.
1. This is at Highmark Stadium.
Okay.
Patriots versus Bills, December 6, 2021.
Who did you say it was?
Patriots versus Bills, December 6, 2021.
Okay, so COVID year. December. Oh, I do. I remember this game.
All right.
This is a close game. Bills won. I know that. Cam Newton on the Patriots. Wow, what a wild time. I do remember this game I don't remember it vividly, but it was a close game. This was the first This is the first game the Bills played against that wasn't Tom Brady. If I remember correctly. Yeah, Cam Newton was playing, that's for sure. I think Cam Newton had a rushing touchdown. Did he? Did he have a rushing touchdown? I think he did. I'm just trying to think of who was on the Patriots at the time.
Cam Newton here.
What?
I don't see any Cam Newton here.
Oh, wait. So this is the year after. Oh, okay. Okay, disregard that what I said before because I thought it was okay. December 2021. Oh, I remember this game. Okay. So it's in Buffalo. It was a Monday night game. You picked this game already. You picked this game already.
Okay.
You did. Okay. Good thing I thought yes, because I remember you picked this game. Okay. Yeah, you picked this game already. I remember.
Let's see if I pick this one. November 7th, 2021. Buffalo Bills versus Jackson Jaguars at
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
In Jacksonville. I remember this game too. Josh Allen had a horrible game. Bills had I remember this. I do remember the score. It was 9-3. It was 9-3 Jacksonville. Jacksonville won. Josh Allen, not Bills Josh Allen, but Jacksonville Josh Allen had he definitely had an interception. I don't know. I think he had two interceptions. Jacksonville Josh Allen had 2 interceptions. Josh Allen did not have a good game. This is probably the worst game of that season. And that was a great season. That was probably the worst game of that season. Not a fun game to watch. I think I probably broke something in the basement, my dad mentioned earlier. So I'm saying 9-3 Bills. 9-3 Bills, final score.
No.
Really?
9-6.
Oh yes, because
Josh Hines Allen intercepting.
Only one? Oh, okay. I thought he had 2. All right. Yeah, don't give me that one. That was bad. All right, fair enough. Okay.
Thank you for giving me that.
Damn. I thought because no, because 9-3 was the playoff game against Jacksonville. That's why I was saying 9-3. But yes, I do remember it was very low scoring. That was probably one of the worst games I've ever watched as a Bills fan. Horrible game to watch. Horrible game.
All right.
Oh man. All right. Next podcast, we're gonna be deciding who is gonna have to pay lots of amounts, lots of money at a Jays game later on this year.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Bleeding Blue Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We are here. We are there. We are everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter. We are on all the apps. Thank you guys so much. This episode will be coming out Friday after the Jays have won the game against the Boston Red Sox 3-2. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one and cheers. See you next episode.